Pete Bercich, analyst for the Minnesota Vikings Audio Network, joins us from Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center. That's where 9 to noon will be tomorrow. And in fact, about 25 hours from now, Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell will be chatting with us via X's and O's. The analyst inclusion 9 to noon is provided by Sukup Manufacturing and Sukup.com. Pete, just an open-ended question here, just off something Nordo and I were just discussing. Do you think the Vikings should have put more focus on a rushing attack, or is that too broad of a question to just lay it out like that without context? And good morning.
Yeah, good morning. All right, so it's a balance, right? And we know we've had the opportunity to watch this offense now for a number of years, and you were talking about it earlier, just what it was like the first year that Kevin O'Connell was here. We threw the ball 62% of the time. I mean, that's our identity in offense. That's what Kevin O'Connell does. That's what this offense does. Is they're aggressive, they attack, they get down the field. That's what makes us unique. So the question is, it's the process then. So as you are developing this young quarterback, okay, this is where we want to be. This is eventually what we want to get to. This is what we do. What's the best way of getting there? Is the best way of getting there building trying to build an unstoppable road game along the way? Do we change our identity for a while and say, okay, we need to run the football? There's no question that running the ball more is going to help J.J. McCarthy right now. Short term. It's going to help him long term? I don't know. But short term, yes, because it's a lot easier for a younger quarterback to just turn around and hand the football off. So that balance between run and pass, it's like we know what our identity is and our deal is, our ideal, but how do we get there in the fastest way? And, yes, I mean, in the short term, running the football we outrushed Baltimore on a per rush basis, which is crazy. We also had more yards per completion or yards per play throwing the football too by over a yard. So, it's there. It's the question of what kind of balance do you want, and are we going to completely change the identity of this offense so we can build back into a vertical throwing passing game type of an offense? And I guess that's the development question, and it's not an easy one to answer.
So off that and off what we've seen through everything through 9 games. Well, the Vikings absolutely will win the next one. Why? Because like off the terrible Chargers game, it seems they bounce back from legit doldrums with big time efforts. Who really would be surprised? The Bears, I like the Ravens more than I like the Bears, and the Ravens even beat the Bears earlier this year. But nevertheless, if that happens, I'm not going to be surprised. What about you?
It's definitely schizophrenic. I mean, there are a couple things that bother me in the regard of playing at home. Okay, playing at home should be, you need to build an advantage playing at home, and right now, at this stage of the season, we've been playing better on the road than I guess we did play on the road in California. But 1-3 at home, I mean, that's tough. I mean, these Bears, they're believing now. They've had 4 games where they were behind inside of 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter and come back and won. Ooh. So they're believing now. This isn't the Bears team that, you keep it close and they fall apart in the fourth quarter with false starts and with penalties and with, those kinds of things. They've changed. They're believing in themselves now. So I think we're going to get a more resolute Bears team coming in, because they're going to look at this and say they're getting back into the division games now, and this is a big one for them if they want to try to take care of the NFC North. But it's I expect them to play better, man. I mean, 13 penalties. I mean, regardless of how young your quarterback is, right? Those pre-snap penalties. I mean, I looked it up last night. We have 33. We have as many as any team in the NFL. I think we're tied with Miami, I believe, with pre-snap penalties. Ooh. So those things, the procedural stuff, right? I mean, before the ball is snapped, that should be tight. That should be the expectation. Reality is, it may not be because your quarterback is young and all that, but that should be a standard right there that you can't and you won't, waver on. Meaning, if we don't take care of business before the ball snap, how the hell are we going to do it after it is? Right? So everybody needs to know the snap count. Everybody in just the process of everything, even toward the end of the game, with the 2-minute situation, and just that didn't feel super clean. You know what I mean? It takes a long time to build that. It's not easy to do. We take for granted how easy some of these quarterbacks and what guys we've seen in the past, and how easy they make it look to run that operation. So, yeah, I think the demand to running the operation, being as good as possible, is not out of. You shouldn't waver on that one. As far as the performance goes, and the airmailing passes late in the game, I mean, those are things that need to be worked on.
Pete Bercich, analyst for the Minnesota Vikings Audio Network and KFAN. Thanks to Sukup Manufacturing and Sukup.com.
It wasn't all negative yesterday, Pete, and just fun moments of the game. And I just wanted your insight on this in particular, very early on in the festivities yesterday.
This is the 199th regular season game for Harry the Hitman. Still going strong, isn't he, Pete?
All right, can I...
Lamar Jackson goes under center first.
I felt awful about that.
Why?
Well, here's the thing, and this could be my mistake, and I haven't had a chance to talk to Paul about it, but he mentioned Ben, and as soon as Paul talks because he talks to Abbott and says, I'm going to go to Ben here on this, and so that way everybody behind us is all ready to go. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I hear Paul say, I'm going to go to Ben, I just turn my brain off and I start looking at my notes and things about what I could talk about or whatever, because it's going to Ben. And then I hear him say my name, and I just assume you made a mistake. That you meant to say Ben,
yeah,
and that's me. You the old saying, you assume something, you make an ass out of you and me, and then I'm sitting there going, I'm waiting. I'm like, hey, Ben's not answering. What the hell? And I'm thinking,
weird.
It's like weird. Yeah, did he not hear it? And then I'm thinking maybe I should jump in. And by then, obviously we're 3-4 seconds into the awkward silence, and so my apologies to UPA and all the listeners for...
No, come on.
No, Nordo, that's what you wanted, right? That's what you wanted.
Fun. I didn't want you to apologize.
Nordo could not stop texting me during the game, by the way, after it happened. Why? Because we're a family. And surrogate brothers and cousins tease each other. In fact, if you just jumped into 9 to noon on this Monday,
one more time.
What are we talking about? Well, a moment from early in the game yesterday. This is the 199th regular season game for Harry the Hitman. Still going strong, isn't he, Pete?
I love it.
That might have been some of the best commentary I've ever done.
I'm like, Lamar Jackson is. Well, then
after the next play. Sorry about a minute ago there, Paul. Anyway, Justice Hill.
Yeah, let's let's make it a fight, a fairness and duo act with Pete and I, because there are things that have taken place. This is an emotional game for all of us. And, neither one of us are team employees, but, we travel with the team. We stay with the team. We like a lot of people within the organization. Shoot, we want them to win every single game. Nordo's a surrogate to that with us. And he legitimately cares. So we get a little wound up at times. Well, the last couple of weeks, I've just kind of lost my mind a little bit. I got frustrated at Ford Field. When I think it was the
the push-off on Jamison Williams?
Thank you. The Jamison Williams push-off, where inside Ford Field, they kept showing the replay, but cutting it off at the push-off. And they did it 3 times. And I freaked out, and I'm like, I'm basically, I didn't say, hey, Detroit Lions ops, in-house ops, you frauds. But I'm like, you guys are frauds. Will you just show the right freaking replay here? So I lost my mind a little bit on that 2 weeks ago. And yesterday, we had a Roquan Smith moment where I thought he went Stephon Gilmore on Aaron Jones.
Would you like to hear it?
The way Gilmore went Gilmore on Justin Jefferson in 2022, and I felt bad about this. McCarthy facing a 4-man rush, steps away from the pressure to the left. Now he pumps, throws left, incomplete. By the way, throw the flag! Roquan Smith just decapitated Aaron Jones. What's that fool doing? Are you kidding me with that? I mean, it was a mile away from the ball. Yeah, I lost my mind.
The crowd didn't help, Paul.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
right?
I understand that. But I mean, I had my binoculars on it. I saw Jones's head go back hard, like whiplash effect. I'm pissed off the way the game's going.
Yeah.
And Roquan Smith, all right, there's been some knucklehead factor with Roquan Smith during the course of his career with Chicago mostly. But you know what? I mean, Roquan Smith had no right to catch that verbal L yesterday with me being like, what's this fool doing?
But in fairness, though, about 30 seconds later, like, okay, he shoved it. And then he just kind of moved.
Well, I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
I think Roquan will survive.
I'm pulling back on
right.
all that, man. I mean, that just can't happen. This is Pete Bercich, analyst for the Vikings Radio Network. Thank you, Sukup Manufacturing and Sukup.com. Harrison Smith, he's playing basically all the plays now. Harry the Hitman. 199th regular season game for Harry the Hitman. Still going strong, isn't he, Pete?
Would you like to say what you didn't say yesterday, Pete?
Put that in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I mean Harrison Smith. Yeah, he's still going strong, and I think he was a very important part of how the Vikings defeated the Lions and the looks. And I've talked about this before with defenses can make it look like something, but. Or disguise, walk down the line of scrimmage, that kind of thing. But a smart quarterback will know if you're bluffing because it doesn't look like anything else that you've done. And I think Harry can play that second level type game where he knows that what we're trying to do looks similar to a blitz, and so I'm going to show that other blitz so the quarterback sees something that has been on tape. Okay, it's a bait and switch kind of thing, but the bait has to be legit. You can't bait them with something that they haven't seen if you have a smart quarterback. So yeah, Harry's still. I mean, what else are you going to say? He's still. I think for Harry, he's the most versatile safety in the league. He has been for a long time. He can do everything. He can cover. He can tackle. He can blitz. I really. Taking and watching Kyle Hamilton and seeing what they're doing with him in Baltimore reminds me a lot of what the Vikings had done and have done with Harrison Smith. And so to see Kyle Hamilton kind of his career evolve from being a pure cover type safety to now he's down in the box, he's playing the run, he's blitzing off the edges quite a bit. He's doing he's getting around the quarterback, doing all those things. There aren't many guys in the league that can do that because when Harrison Smith comes down the line of scrimmage, you have to respect him because he's that good. He can blitz. He can, we remember the game in Carolina, I believe it was 2 seasons ago, and he had 2 sacks in one game, and one of which he basically power rushed or bull rushed an offensive lineman. I mean, not many safeties can do that. So, to see Harry out there and then Kyle Hamilton, it was great because you're seeing kind of not the passing of the torch, but a guy who's kind of set the road or set the table for a guy like Kyle Hamilton and what you can do with a versatile safety. And, they're definitely doing that. I think, Zach Orr during the bye, the defense coordinator for, Baltimore during the bye, kind of put all that in motion and said, we got Alohi Gilman now. We can let him run around in the back end, and we're going to take and make Kyle Hamilton kind of the Josh Metellus or Harrison Smith of this defense. And it's working well for them. They've definitely turned things around, especially in the turnover department.
Hey, Pete, I didn't pay a ton of attention yesterday as I was looking at false starts and just looking at the kid QB, et cetera. I got this a lot in fan line and didn't know really how to answer it. Did you feel from your vantage point, was there something off with Jefferson yesterday? You got seven catches on 23 targets between Jefferson and Addison, so that looks ugly on paper. But I just saw people, whether he didn't run back and try and chase down Malachi Starks, just kind of lack of jump or juice at certain times. Great ball by in a tough one to catch, but a great ball by McCarthy into the end zone, goes right through his arms. Just any thoughts on number 18 yesterday?
Yeah, I don't think he looked he looked himself. We have a very high standard for what we see out of Justin Jefferson on a weekly basis. And I can't sit here and say that once the ball was snapped until the whistle blew, that there was a ton of difference. But afterwards, kind of the walking and some of the other things that you saw, I would, I'd be interested to know, what the deal is or what's going on or if he's a little nicked up, playing through something. We'll never know that because they won't tell us, and they shouldn't. But there's something he's either playing through right now, or that's how it appeared to me, right? And that could change. That could obviously change this Sunday. I don't know, but there. Again, I think it's a situation where we don't sit here and go, well, Eric Wilson was a little bit off today, or Dwight McGlothern, man, he was just a little bit off. We watch JJ. He is the focal point of the defense. He's the focal point of what we do, and so we watch him extremely closely. And and so I agree with you, Nardo. There was something. And it could be the normal course of a season and the wear and tear and all those things. But we'll see as Chicago rolls in here. We'll see how he looks this weekend.
Thank you, my brother. See you soon.
All right. See you.
Pete Bercich, analyst for the Vikings Audio Network and KFAN, at Pete Bercich via Twitter for hardcore football takes. He also updates, I believe, weekly at least, his YouTube channel, and it's called Eye in the Sky. If you go to YouTube and you search Pete Bercich, Eye in the Sky, or Pete Bercich 5'6", you'll find it. Extensive, fantastic film breakdowns of Vikings football. And all of that is courtesy of Sukup Manufacturing and Sukup.com. We're into the second half of the radio show around the corner. PJ Fleck, coach of the Golden Gophers football team, joins us 20 minutes from now. But first, we got this.
Yeah, the fan, along with two men in a junk truck, want to give you a shot at some bonus bucks with the National Cash Contest. You can go to KFAN.com, enter the keyword money, and you might win some money if you enter the keyword money at KFAN.com. Dramatic pause brings us back to 9 to noon, and in particular, Vikes Bites.
Vikes Bites.
Vikes Bites, always brought to you by Lifetime Grazed, grass-fed beef.
John Jenkins.
And you can shop online. A box of meat will show up at your doorstep. You can also go to, of course, your local Coburn's and Kowalski's locations. Proud sponsors of Gophers Athletics as well. And thank you so much, Thousand Hills, for all your support. And Minnesota Vikings losing 27-19 yesterday. And we've talked about the kid QB a lot, but I'm curious what your thoughts are on how we move forward, how we handle things when we have situations like this.
Boom! There's the loop kick. Here comes Miles Price to the 5-10-15. He dropped the ball at the 22-yard line. Miles Price, second fumble this year at the 22, may give the Ravens the ball and very good field position after they just grabbed the lead. It's a scrum. It's a scrum. 3 officials in there to establish who has the ball. Miles Price fumbled at the 22-23 Ravens ball. We're -3 in the take. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Sadly, I'm not kidding you. That was the first of 2 fumbles, by the way. I think he ran in. Was it Tyler Batty?
Yeah.
Potentially, who
With some
inadvertently,
friendly fire.
Yeah, while blocking another person, knocked the next kickoff out of his hands. Mm-hmm. Yesterday had a little bit of avalanche. It had a little bit of just when it rains, it pours, whatever cliche you want to use. It was like Saturday morning freaking football follies with the false starts. I think we had 4 in the fourth quarter alone. I mean, okay, we changed cadence, we did this, we adjusted, and then we had 4 of them in the final frame. At any rate,
well, I mean the cheap shots are just coming from all over the place. You just unfurled one. I've unfurled a bunch. It's fantastic, right? Why? Because it only hurts when we laugh.
That is correct.
Well, now Johnny the Mouse Mickelson, captain of the '83 Wayzata Club hockey team, a formidable club hockey team, and the Mouse wore the C. He texted me, "I got seats on the 20-yard line, row 12 for the Bears game. Should I wear my synthetic Gore-Tex receiver gloves in case a ball flies up there kind of like a baseball game?" John, that's too much, honey. Come on. He's a kid.
Oh, kind of brilliant, though. Yes. Just so you know, ladies and gentlemen, first 5 rows, end zone side. Just keep your head on a swivel. That's all I would suggest.
For now.
Keep your head on the swivel as the kid QB continues to improve. I believe that's a total of 3 fumbles this year after yesterday for Mr. Price.
Yeah.
And it just feels, I don't know where your head's at on this, but it's like week to week. It's like last week you had Tavier Thomas stealing Miles Price's lunch money. He gets the kick return touchdown called back. Mm-hmm. You have these issues. I mean, I wonder if Kobe King actually got waived specifically because he went through that stretch with all those special teams penalties. You kind of right the ship, and then you get the fumbles. Like Miles Price, is there a lack of trust there, or do you think that, despite those 2 fumbles, you're rolling into that Bears game saying, we gave you this opportunity, you took it by the horns, you just bleeped up at a high level.
Yeah.
Don't do that ever again. You're still our guy.
Boom. I think you nailed it.
And is that probably that easy?
Well, I don't even think it's a talker. I think the talker will be Matt Daniels or Dahlman, the assistant, or somebody, just like looking at it closely and like being, hey, do this and do that with how you're holding it and juking and stuff like that, because they're going to remember, and it's not inconveniently, because it happened. It's reality.
Yeah.
2 games ago, he had 5 kick returns for 33 per. And like Nordo said, he busted one for 90 and change to the house, but 37 brought it back. Now, if 37 doesn't do what 37 does, he doesn't get to the house. So that all plays into it. But still, the ones that counted, 5 of them for 33 per. So the undrafted kid from Indiana is, again, raising kids has its challenges personally and professionally, but there also are rewards, and there are rewards that are great for those who want to go.
Bites.
I tried to quote a song by Prince called The Ladder, and I messed it up.
Oh, Bites. Thank you, Thousand Hills. If we were doing Nordo's numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, Nordo's numbers. Here's a number from the game that is interesting. Mm-hmm. John Bonus and company, Tom, Zone Coverage. You guys do terrific work. Thank you, Zone Coverage. If I was going to do a number, I know I'm trying hard. Team lost yesterday. Team's 4-5. Kid QB throws a pick. Maybe he should have just run for the first down. Kid throws another pick, and Justin Jefferson falls down, and it's Humphrey, and it's easy. Okay, a lot of negative things. Totally get it. However, in his first start, J.J. McCarthy was sacked 3 times. In his second start, he was sacked 6 times. Ooh, hurts his ankle. He's gone forever. Comes back. We got to Goff a handful of times. They got to our guy a handful of times. Need the kid to take fewer sacks. Yesterday, just 1 sack. Just 1 sack on the kid.
Can I provide some context?
Yeah.
The Baltimore Ravens entered the game with 11 sacks, tied for second fewest in the National Football League next.
It was 11 into the game.
Yeah, so I mean, seeing that's just, again, when we crack wise, when we get a little on the negatory side, that's because we are talking out things on our therapeutic Davenport of love. That's age-old with 9 to noon or 10 to 1 just for fun.
Yes.
That's what we're doing off kind of like what you just said there. And that further frustrates yours truly and probably the con when you recognize that sacked one time. However, at halftime, it's 10-9. And, I mean, I'm going to my chill spot at halftime. Got, somebody walks in there every single week with whom I and we chat. We got everybody with the Vikings Audio Network. And I'm like, wow, they're playing really, really well in all facets of the game. All facets of the game.
All facets.
And then they played the second half.
And
now we're using Diana Ross and the Supremes with stop in the name of love, and we got a litany and a laundry list of things that need to stop.
Okay, let me try one more thing, just a positive moment, and it was early, and it'll get lost in the shuffle. That fade to Naylor. Whoever your version of the highest of the high end at the position is in the league, when they make that throw, if it's Collinsworth in prime time or it's potentially Sweet Nectar down on the Fox in KC, if it's Dan Miller and yes, sir, from the analyst, you're saying good things about this.
Caleb Williams this year. Minnesota 1 of 1 on third down. 2 receivers, right, 3 left, empty backfield. McCarthy wearing the 9, facing a 4-man rush. He's going to fade left to Jalen Naylor, caught at the 40, and a Raven blew a tackle. Stiff arm by Naylor at the 30. Bulldogs to the 20. Brings to the 10. Down at the 5. A 62-yard catch and run by the speedy Jalen Naylor.
What? Nice trimming, whoever put those highlights together yesterday,
Well,
by the way.
then I got pissed off in the third quarter because he never was in the game.
That's right. He's going, where was he?
Right. I mean, yeah, so anyway.
Well, I mean, he led the team in catches yesterday, 5 for $124 and that late score. Another nice throw,
Yes.
little toe tapper, backside of the end zone. Not every throw the kid QB made yesterday was a disaster. Not every decision he made put the team in peril, specifically early. And then you had to dig deep, and the producer's trying hard. There were good moments yesterday from number 9 that we must appreciate, and then now just need to see fewer of the sales, more of the good moments against Chicago, and you're 5-5.
If they run on that 3rd and 1, they win by 21.
I always love that one.
That's the bottom line. I mean, there's so much that took place in the whole game, all the plays and everything.
Just that one moment.
They run on that 3rd and 1.
I always love that one.
They win by multiple scores. See? You laughed.
Yes, I did.
That's what 9 to noon is here to do. The surrogate, young Parker Fox, just walked into the studio all negative and everything off the Vikings game, and we cracked that joke, and the kid smiles. It is one big therapeutic Davenport of love. We're all on it right now. We're all outstretched. We're all trying to make each other laugh before we beat the Bears.
And as we continue to move on through 9 to noon, pumped up to talk about Gophers at Oregon this weekend, looking for more positivity.
And it's PJ Fleck, coach of the team, who joins 9 to noon weekly, and that's next. PJ Fleck is coach of the Golden Gophers football team. He's nice enough to join this radio show with yours truly, Paul Allen. And Parker Fox joins for this part of the conversation and a marathon segment at 11. And PJ's Golden Gophers back off a bye. And first, they get 7th-ranked Oregon, and the Ducks out Eugene way. And the head coach joins us now. PJ, Paul Allen, and Parker, what was good for you and the gang during the bye time? And good morning.
Hey, good morning to you as well, PA. Thanks for having us on the show. Good morning to Parker. The big thing we wanted to hit on were 3 things. We wanted to continue to get our football team as healthy as possible, and that's mentally, physically, and emotionally. Our guys work really hard, sacrifice a lot, always in the training room. I mean, they're here constantly. So get everybody a little bit time away, refresh, but then also keep them really healthy when we practice, get a lot of the young guys reps. 2, it was more of a process audit. How are we doing? Where are we at after 6 straight games? What do we have to get better at? Systematic approaches, offense, defense, special teams, kind of do an audit of ourselves. And then you go back and number 3 was all about response. We just got to continue to respond here down the stretch. Played some really good football teams, done really well at home, on the road, played some really good defenses, some top 5 defenses in the country, and got to find a way to play a little bit better on the road and It's a great challenge for us this week going out to Eugene, Oregon.
And there are two on the road with Oregon and Northwestern. Then Bucky is here to close things. Like PJ just intimated or referenced, the Gophers are 6-0 at Huntington Bank Stadium this season, and that 6-game winning streak at home is the longest since winning the first 6 there in 2019. And that season is also the last time the Gophers won their first 6 home games in a season. PJ overall 64-42 in 9 seasons with the Gophers, and that's a wonderful, wonderful record. Now you get undoubtedly a very tough Oregon team. These Ducks allow 126 passing yards a game. Holy cow! Which is tops in FBS. What makes that rush and cover for Oregon so stout?
Well, first of all, they're just really, really talented. They've done a great job of acquiring some of the best talent in the country. I think that's not a secret to anybody. But it's another thing to have the talent. It's another thing to develop and coach the talent and get all that talent playing really well together. I think that's what Dan Lanning's really, really good at. He deserves a lot of credit, not just for the type of team he has, but connecting that team. They play so well, bottom up, top down. They're very well connected. They play in sync as 11 as one, but they are very, very, very good. I mean, this is probably, when you look at the teams, some of the teams we played a top 5 defense, number 1 defense in Ohio State. We played top 5 defense in Iowa, and then a top 5 defense again here with Oregon. And they have a lot of things in common. I mean, they work really well as all 11. They got a lot of experience. They're really, really talented. They tackle well. They're twitchy. They're all long. They can all run. But this is a tremendous challenge for us. And again, we haven't handled that necessarily well at times, but we got to continue to grow up, continue to mature, and continue to find ways to do the simple things way better.
Hey, Coach, great to be back with you this morning. Obviously, I'm curious from a scouting standpoint. You and Oregon both just played Iowa. How much do you and your staff look at specific games like that and compare them, or is that something only really us fans kind of like to do?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit more of the fan piece. We were out of that game so fast. I mean, within 8 offensive plays, I think we were down 24-0. So, I mean, you're talking, everything that could have went wrong, and it went wrong so early that I think it's really hard to even look at that tape and say, okay, well, here's what we did well, here's what we didn't do well, because it was really bad really quickly and really good for them really quickly. So, but when you do look at it, you look at more matchups, Parker. You look at more of the individual matchups. Because you do assess the talent of both teams. You do have breakdowns. You do have depth charts, and then you break that down in terms of a personnel standpoint. And I think you take those things. And but again, I mean, this is a really good football team. This is a really good team that we're playing. It's one of the best teams in the country for a reason, and we're going to have to play really, really well.
PJ Fleck, coach of the Golden Gophers football team, joins 9 to noon. Your quarterback, Drake Lindsey, in the very formative stages of not only his collegiate career, but who knows where it'll go from there. During the course of your elongated head coaching run, PJ, whether it's here or Western Michigan, when it comes to raising the gifted, so Drake clearly is gifted, but just like so many who start at a high level at that key position, experience is required to work through things. What's that like? Like, what are some head coaching keys when you have gifted players who are making mistakes because they lack experience getting through that?
Well, you got to love to fail. And I know that sounds crazy, but we define failing as growth and failure as quit. Those are 2 different words. We need our players to want to fail. Our job as coaches is to get them to fail and get them to respond to that failing constantly. And I think that's what Drake's really good at. On Sundays, you can't really tell with Drake whether we won or lost. He just wants to grow. I think I said this last week, and PA, I'm not sure if you heard me talk about this, but, when you talk about playing Drake, when you're playing a freshman, as a head coach, you make a decision. And whether that's a rookie or whether that's a freshman, you make a decision as a head coach to play a really young, inexperienced player. You know there's going to be highs and lows. Now, the fans might not agree with that or want that, but there's going to be some really good moments, and there's going to be some really, really hard moments. But you can't skip the steps. The steps to becoming an elite player are the steps. And so you can't skip those steps. You got to go through those. And you better be prepared with that as a head football coach and the starting quarterback when you go through that. There has to be an understanding that this is going to happen, but when we have those times, the response is going to be critical. And I've absolutely loved Drake's response. And that's what shows me he's going to be such a great player, is because of his response, that it's not a reaction based on what society thinks. It's based on an internal response that he has, that he's going to grow, change, and get better with time.
Hey, PJ, how is recruiting going, and how much can you discuss? Because I'm playing off the social media machines here, seeing like this person's at a game and this person commits, or the verbals or all that. Like how it seems like it's going really well, but I don't want to put you in a weird spot. How much can you discuss?
Yeah, it's interesting with recruiting, because somebody asked me, how's recruiting going? I said, well, ask me in 3 years. And then I'll tell you how it went, because you never really know. But I do think this is one of our best, if not the best, class we put together. Even over the last week, 7 commitments have committed to us. We were really busy in the bye week with recruiting, and I thought our staff did a really good job. I don't think anybody talks or sells the program. I hate to use the word sell the program, but that's the way I have to describe it, that more than the players. And our players do such an outstanding job of talking about our program, talking to people about this is exactly what it is. I mean, if you're up for this, great. If you're not up for this, don't come here. And our players do such a great job. But I think this is probably our best class we've ever had when you look at it from top to bottom. And that's where you want to be, 9 years into your tenure here. And our staff and players deserve a lot of credit for that.
Okay, now this potentially is a dumb question, but when you, so they're still in high school. So, I mean, is it like a foregone conclusion? It's closed, or do you still have to sweat a little bit until you actually get them here?
Oh, no, we have 23 days till signing day. So absolutely, you're going to sweat all the way to getting there. And then the portal opens, and then you got to look at that. So there's a whole point of that in early January now, which is a 2-week window, which is only one window now, which helps. But you just never know how that shapes up with your football team and who comes after them. So we all know that kind of goes on in college football, and we got to do everything we can to. I think which is what we do. We create a great experience for people who want to be a part of that life program, on the field, off the field, and it takes a special person to want to be a part of that, and instead of just chase a logo or chase money.
So part of being a college coach these days, legitimately, is also constantly recruiting within your walls, making sure those you want to stay, emphasis on those you want to stay, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't even call it recruiting. I think it's just creating an experience from top to bottom, academically, athletically, socially, and spiritually, that people don't want to trade for something. And simply that. We create an experience that for the majority of the time, we have one of the top retention rates in the country that players really like being a part of. Are we perfect? No. But I think that when you create an experience that really is a little different than most collegiate experiences right now, I think it gravitates to your players and allows them to say, I can be the best person I can be and play and make money and do it all. And I don't have to go risk that and go somewhere where maybe I'm being sold something that's not necessarily true. So I think we do a really good job of still creating a collegiate experience in this new NIL portal / if you even want to call it professional-like type atmosphere.
I appreciate the conversation, my brother. Safe travels. We'll chat next week, all right?
Look forward to it. Row the boat, Sky Mago Gophers. Let's go Vikes. Thanks.
Yes, sir. See you later. PJ Fleck, coach of the Golden Gophers football team, weekly
9 to noon.
Pete Fox sticks around. We mix up the topics after this.